Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will have to excuse my current appearance. I know I look not presentable. Well, not as bad, I guess, with the SmackDown shirt on and the scarf and whatnot. But see my hair? Well, it's better now. But when I first opened up the laptop to record this, I saw it, I'm like, man, I look horrible. And that's because I was up till 4 a.m. last night. 4 a.m. I recorded 3.5 years of the last park in that Roller Coaster Tycoon Let's Play for the bonus park. So yes, I probably look a mess. I do have to shave my beard tonight for sure. And I'm going to be working on that, editing that park. I'm just done with that Let's Play. Again, I enjoyed playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, but especially that last park, I'm like, I'm just done and I'm ready to move on. But just a little side note there. We're not here to talk about video games. We're here to talk about some wrestling. What is going on, guys? This is The Club with the Man 1993. This is my review of this past week's episode of SmackDown, which was the October 11th, 2024 edition. And it took place in Greenville, South Carolina. Of course, there's Greenville, South Carolina. There's Greensboro, North Carolina. I always get the two of them mixed up. But it doesn't matter. We're here. We're going to talk about this show. It is the fallout from Bad Blood. And we are now on the road to Crown Jewel. A show that I'm already not really... Out of all the WWE pay-per-views, so far this may be the one I'm the least excited for. I don't know. Just like it already feels like it's going to be a glorified house show. With these Crown Jewel Championship matches that, again, literally are just bragging right shows. Well, bragging right trophy belts. And they do absolutely nothing else. Like I said last week in my Bad Blood review, all you have to do is believe. No, sorry, wrong subject. All you have to do is just add some sort of little catch to it. Like, again, the winning champion gets to headline one of the nights of WrestleMania. Or, like, the winning champion, that brand gets the first pick in next year's draft. Or they could steal a pick from, steal someone from the other brand. Or something. Just something to put a stipulation on it. Just this trophy bragging rights thing is going to do nothing. Like, at least the King of the Ring led to a championship match at SummerSlam. But I don't know. I'm not feeling Crown Jewel so far. I will watch it. I will preview again. It is the last pay-per-view I am going to be previewing though for sure this year. Because again, I can't guarantee Survivor Series. Because after this month, again, I am going on hiatus for a couple months from Raw and SmackDown reviews, probably until the beginning of 2025, unless something big happens, of course. But yeah, I don't know. As far as this episode of SmackDown, here's my thing. Because there's things I mentioned coming out of Bad Blood. If there wasn't some concerns on my end, I thought this could have been one of the better episodes of SmackDown we've seen all year. But because there's things that I'm just concerned they're not going to follow through on, I can't hold this as high as I feel like I should be. Like, the two biggest things from the show that I thought were done very well was, of course, the fallout with the Bloodline, with the story of them trying to rebuild the original Bloodline reuniting, and the stuff with Kevin Owens. and the fallout from his off-camera attack on Cody Rhodes. We'll talk about that as well. The problem I have with that is, here's the two things. As far as the Bloodline goes, like I said, them not winning on Saturday, not last Saturday at Bad Blood, them not winning did kind of hurt my excitement for Survivor Series, for the War Games match. Because, again, to me, they're not a threat. Solo has lost both of his world title matches. And then he lost that tag team match. And to me, it's like the most powerful leader of them all doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Like, honestly, the only person I feel like that's been booked right is Jacob Fatu. And the more I see how he's booked, I'm like, maybe they just had to move on from Solo being a part of this new Bloodline and just have Jacob be like, you know, the main villain now. Because again, he feels more like, I could see him being more of a threat than Solo, unfortunately. I'm sorry. So because of that kind of hurts my excitement for the Bloodline. Because I feel like in order for me to get that back, I feel like they have to do Roman and Solo one-on-one at Crown Jewel. And Solo has to win that. No excuses. Solo has to win that. That may help reignite my excitement for Survivor Series. And then there's the stuff with Kevin Owens. So, I so far like this heel turn from Kevin Owens. This justified heel turn. And I think that's why, because some others have said this too, as to why they did the heel turn, like, off camera instead of, like, on screen with a backstage segment and whatnot. I think people are saying the reason why they may have done that is because they were worried that if it would have happened on camera, he would have gotten a babyface reaction for it. Because I like that this heel turn by Kevin Owens is very justified. He has a reason to be upset with Cody Rhodes. He has a reason also to be upset with Randy Orton. It's a very justified story. And I keep saying we need more heels like that. Right now, there's 3 heels to me that has a justified story for them being heels. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and over in AEW, Hangman Adam Page. All 3 of them have justified storylines and good heels. But again, the thing I fear is what's Kevin going to get out of this? Is Kevin going to, I don't know, win the world title from Cody Rhodes? At this point, he is the one I'd want to see take the title off of Cody Rhodes. I mean, either him or, I guess Randy. My biggest fear is it's still going to be The Rock. I don't want The Rock to be the one to take the title. But my thing is if Cody faces The Rock before The Rock fights Roman, then are you really going to have The Rock lose before his match with Roman? Unless if Roman costs him the match? And everything too is, as much as I love Roman, I don't want the belt back on Roman. I don't want that either. You gotta move on from that. Roman's not full-time anymore. Is he great? Has he earned his place at the top? Yes. But right now is not the time to put the belt back on him. Like I said, they could give it to Randy Orton, give him a short reign just to get him up to 15 world championships. And of course they could, but I would still rather give it to Kevin. I would much rather give the title to Kevin. And the problem is that I don't believe WWE is going to put the belt on him. So if that's the case, then I'm like, okay, this is awesome, but what's Kevin going to get out of this? He needs something more than just to turn heel, just to be a heel opponent for Cody Rhodes, and just for Cody to beat him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the things where it's like, okay, if I had more faith in some of these storylines, then yes, this would have been one of the best SmackDowns this year. But since I don't, I'm like, I gotta see where this goes. So as far as the grade, I'm not sure if I even have a proper grade for this. I thought like B-, B. I probably would give it maybe like a B+ or an A- if I had more faith in those 2 big storylines. But right now, I just don't. And again, it just shows that, again, although Triple H has improved the shows drastically, he ain't perfect. Some things I still have doubts for, unfortunately. As I say that he's not great at his job, it's just that, well, feel like you kind of swung and missed a couple times with the Bloodline. So why should I not believe you're going to swing and miss again? Just my opinion. If you think differently, that's totally fine. But make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below, as always. We're going to get into it and talk about the show. And then I'm going to spend most of the rest of the day trying to get that Roller Coaster Tycoon video edited and get that uploaded this week. Because, again, I'm just ready to move on from that. But it's done. We're good. So, the show opens up with the return of big Jim Uso. Jimmy Uso comes out. First off, I definitely think his charisma already is so much better as a babyface than a heel. Again, as I said before, that heel run should have worked. But it didn't because they literally gave him no heat. He was literally the chump of the Bloodline just eating the pins. And the fact that they basically were like stalling the Bloodline storyline didn't help either. But already, I think Jimmy is even more connecting as a face, in my opinion. But anyways, so Jimmy welcomes us to SmackDown. He's been on the shelf for 6 months. Because the last time we saw Jimmy was at SmackDown after WrestleMania, when Solo and Tama Tonga beat him down. And he was put there by his little brother, Solo Sikoa. But Solo ain't have no balls to attack him to his face. He got jumped from behind. So tonight, it's all about him doing what he's done his entire life. Kick Solo's ass. Out comes the OTC! OTC! Here comes out Roman Reigns. He says, usually your OTC likes to run it systematically. But we're going to change it up here a little. And he asks Greenville to acknowledge Big Jim, Jimmy Uso. He asks the crowd to turn it up and go again. They do so. And he tells Jimmy he understands where he's coming from. But he's not an older brother. So he doesn't understand this revenge. And he's not a wise man. So he doesn't come up with creative, manipulative plans. That's not him. He's a tribal chief. Which means he takes what's his. And for 4 years, that's exactly what they've done. He calls the shots. And he delivers and had the money, the power, and the respect. They had championships, money, buying houses. Didn't matter. He just doesn't like where they're at now. He doesn't like his position. He doesn't like being out of control. He told us he's the greatest of all time, and he meant it. He wants us to know when they put the ones up that they are the ones. Which, again, I like that, again, with this new babyface Roman Reigns, they still haven't, like, taken that heel skin off him yet. Like, he's a babyface, but he still has his, like, heel tendencies with his attitude and whatnot. And not just a whole, oh, I respect you, I love you all, blah, 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 this, and this. It's like, yeah, he's taking what he can get, but he still is the power-hungry tribal chief that he was before, thinking that he should be on top. But then he needed a little bit of a reality check. Jimmy says, we're not, though. We're not the ones. All he sees in the ring, he sees a chief with no tribe. No garland around his neck. And at Bad Blood, he came back because Roman needed him. Not because he asked. And they need help. Which, of course, again, makes sense for War Games. But again, I still think, well, you really don't, because you still beat them. If you would have lost, then yes, this would have made a lot more sense. But you still beat them. With everybody out there, too. And, of course, Jimmy says he knows one person they can get some help from. The crowd starts chanting yeet. You see the fire built in Roman's eyes. He just glares down Jimmy, pulls up the microphone, he just says, no heat. I loved how, like, stern he got when he said it, too. Shutting that idea of Jey Uso coming back down. Already planting the seed to get Jay to reunite with them. Of course, I wonder how that will go. Because Jay has problems with both Roman and Jimmy. So who's going to be harder to reconcile with? I'm very interested to see how that goes. So Jimmy tells him, listen, he says, he'll be his forever tribal chief. Jimmy acknowledges him. But out of everyone in the family, he's the only one that acknowledges him. And he just pats Roman on the back and just walks out. He's right. Again, like I said, if it wasn't for the Bloodline losing on Saturday, I'd be all. I would have definitely been saying this was perfect, and I still think it was perfect. It sets the stage very well for the story of Roman working from the bottom back up to the top, trying to piece the Bloodline back together. But again, my problem is their roadblock. We all know he can get through. All he doesn't have is the tribal lay or whatever they will follow, however it's called. Which I think if they have a match at Crown Jewel, Roman and Solo, which they should, especially if they're going to do the old bloodline versus the new bloodline, then they have to put that on the line. The winner of that match is the true tribal chief, which again, Solo has to win that. Solo has to win it. No ifs, no ands, no buts. It has to happen. Because if he doesn't win it, then there's definitely the question of what's the point of War Games? What is the absolute point of War Games if Solo can't even beat Roman with the lay on the line? Whatever it's called. Again, outside of that, very great opening promo. Good to see Jimmy back. So, a good opening promo. We have to see where it falls, though. So we have that. Then we had a solid U.S. title match with LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes. LA Knight does win, as Andrade was watching from ringside and kind of got in Carmelo's head a little bit. And LA Knight does win with a BFT that Nello sold very nicely. Later on, though, there was backstage where it looks like that Nick Aldis did set up for a 7th match between Andrade and Carmelo. When that's going to happen, I have no idea. But that's probably going to somehow set up for a triple threat match or a fatal 5-way ladder match. Because I seriously feel like they're going to try to get Logan Paul on the show. But it could be a fatal 4-way. If it was a fatal 5-way, I was going to say AJ Styles was the 5th person. But again, I don't know if that's going to happen because it looks like AJ legitimately did get hurt in his return to SmackDown recently. Because again, apparently, like the moonsault when he landed, he was supposed to sell the ankle injury there, yes. But then when he hit that fireman's carry and his leg kind of buckled, that wasn't supposed to happen. So AJ may be legitimately hurt. But if it wasn't for that, well, I'm still going to put it in my Crown Jewel card, which I'll try to get it done this week, guys. I'm sorry I meant to get it done this weekend, but I didn't. But if AJ was healthy, I would have been saying, I would want to see, and I think I'll still put it in the card just in case. I want to see a fatal 5-way ladder match at U.S. title at Crown Jewel. Just to add like something different, a stipulation to it, would be cool to me. So we got that there. Backstage, we had Cody Rhodes running into Jimmy Uso and thanks him for Saturday. Jimmy tells him to consider it a favor and says it's family business and gives him respect for handling his own business. That's all he wrote. We also had a hype reel for Crown Jewel with the Crown Jewel Championships. Then we also get a hype reel of the duo from the Metaphor in NXT, which is a stable with Noam Dar, Oro Mensah, who was originally Oliver Carter in NXT UK. And then the female leg of it is Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. Jakara I didn't know much about. Lash, when I saw her wrestle in that Women's North American Championship ladder match at Battleground, she seemed like someone who needed a little bit more work. But, hey, an occasional appearance from an NXT talent just to showcase on SmackDown and get a shot for the women's tag titles that can be defended anywhere, I'll take. I was okay with that. Although, I actually liked how they kind of interrupted the match at first, but Because here's what happened. Here's what happened, because it's next, actually. So, the Metaphor make their entrance. Well, just the women. Jakara, Jackson, and Lash Legend. During their entrance, because apparently, storyline-wise, he was suspended. Here comes Kevin Owens through the crowd in street clothes, interrupting, with a microphone in his hand. He says he was told not to come tonight, and everybody wants to know, though, why he turned on Cody Rhodes. And when it's Cody that turned on him, microphone kept cutting him off, and he was just saying how, Cody turned on him, this is not, didn't get the finish, but it's like, again, that's all he really has to say. Again, like, he has a point. Like, this heel turn from Kevin Owens is justified. He has a point. There's truth, and I just love it when there's truth to these heel promos. That's what makes them great heels. Like, when Miz was Intercontinental Champion from 2016 to 2018, most of that run, especially some of the promos he cut on like John Cena and Roman Reigns, there was a ton of truth. Oh, and also, can't forget, we're talking Smack Horse on Daniel Bryan. For crying out loud, there was so much truth in those promos. That's what made him a great heel. Like I said, though, the problem I have is I don't think they're going to capitalize on it. He should be the one to beat Cody Rhodes. If not, maybe you can have him be the one to dethrone LA Knight, but still, no! He's got to beat Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens has to beat Cody Rhodes. Do I believe they're going to do it? Absolutely not. I do not, but he came out here, and then Cody Rhodes came out, security came out to break them up. Then here came Randy Orton, who's friends with both of them, trying to calm both of them down. He gets Cody to back off. He gets in the ring to talk to Kevin. Kevin knows trying to fight through the security, and out of frustration, he elbows Orton in the face. Orton, though, didn't take so kind to it, and he turned around, and he clocked him right in the face, and Owens, of course, was stunned by that. They did that. I guess they're trying to sell that Owens didn't realize it was Orton who was trying to do it. Of course, that wasn't the case later on. But again, it has that tease of like, okay, is Owens being reasonable here? Despite being the heel, is he being reasonable? Just saying. We did have the women's tag title match. It was fine. Wasn't anything too special, but like I said, an occasional showcase of NXT talent I'm not going to complain about. Trick Williams was apparently in the crowd. We also had Chelsea Green, who stinks. No, not at her job, but she stinks because she fell in that dumpster. Her and Piper Niven were ringside. I'm guessing they're going to have them take a crack at the tag titles after Damage Control or same time. Who knows? I don't know. But Bianca and Jade do win. And then, of course, we're getting ready to see Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax as they're making their way to the ringside. But before that, we had a backstage with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. With Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Orton's telling Cody to calm down, get on the bus, and get out of here. He will go take care of Kevin Owens. Which, of course, Nick Aldis made some line like, geez, Randy, you're being the voice of reason. Who would have ever thought of that? And I'm kind of thinking, he is right. Randy Orton's never really been known to be peacemaker. Just saying. So I feel like, because eventually you have to do Cody and Randy. Title or no title, you have to do that match. Again, that could be a WrestleMania match. If they don't do Cody and The Rock. Which I'm still hoping they don't do Cody and The Rock. Heck, if you want to do Randy and Cody first, well, then again, I don't know how that would work. So I was going to say, if you want, save Kevin Owens and Cody till WrestleMania. Heck, if you want Kevin Owens to win the Royal Rumble, cool with me, but I don't see how that's going to happen. I really don't. But anyways, yeah, that line of him saying that being the voice of reason, I'm like, yeah, that's not true at all. Randy's never been a voice of reason. That's totally out of his character. He can be goofy, like jumping up in the air and doing splits in the air, or making funny facial reactions, or, asking the cameraman, are we off? Are we off? Again, Randy's one of my favorite people with breaking character. It's hilarious. Anyways, though, but Randy promises that he will fix this. Of course, that did not happen, as we found out later on the show. But after that, we have Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton in the ring. Nia gets on the mic, gives credit to Bayley for a heck of a fight last week. She even broke a sweat. But just like everybody else, she ended up on her back, realizing that nobody on this planet can beat her. She is looking forward to annihilating Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel. And then she grabs Tiffany Stratton, puts her in a headlock, and it's going to be Tiffy time! When Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in at Crown Jewel on Liv Morgan. Basically saying, don't you cash in on me. I think that cash is coming a little bit sooner rather than later. Either that or they're going to be breaking up this duo sooner rather than later with Nia and Tiffany. Because you can't tease Tiffany cashing in on Liv unless if it's legitimately believable of like, well, I didn't have the opening. But we'll see what happens. Heck, for all I know, they could have Tiffany Stratton cash in out, and whoever she pins wins her title and also wins the Crown Jewel title. I don't know. It would surprise me if they did that. Especially since as of now, it's heel versus heel. With Liv and Nia. Yes, Tiffany's a heel, but I feel like she's going to become a babyface coming out of whatever they're doing with Nia. But anyways, out comes Naomi, saying she's the only reason Nia retained last week with the help of her broken down Barbie. And she actually also beat the broken down Barbie as well. So Naomi wants a match against Nia, which at first I thought it was for the women's championship. It was not in the end. So a referee does come down. But before the referee comes down, here comes Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dominik Mysterio. Liv saying how she's a little upset because they came here to make an example of Nia. But Nia seems busy, so we'll just hang out and watch the match instead. And she's going to lose the match, just like she was going to lose at Crown Jewel. So the match with Naomi and Nia happened, and it was obvious that Liv and Raquel, despite being, of course, heels, were playing favorites for Naomi. Because Liv doesn't want to face big, scary Nia Jax at Crown Jewel, but it's going to happen. Like I said, long story short, Naomi actually won on a roll based off some distractions. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting a title match between those two before Crown Jewel. And then Rhea Ripley came out and tried to get her revenge on Liv and Raquel, which also, happy late birthday to Rhea Ripley, who turned 28 on Friday as well. I remember she was only 21 when she first started in WWE, when she was in the Mae Young Classic. Jeez. We're all getting old. But anyways, but yeah, so their team, I like how they're at least giving a couple a one last crack as this could change. I don't think that it's changing. But with it being two heels for the women's match, I could see something being pulled with Tiffany cashing in at Crown Jewel. But of course, we'll see what we get when we get there. So again, Naomi wins the match, and again after that Rhea comes out. Then we have, of course, Carmelo Hayes backstage complaining to Nick Aldis. That's why he made the 7th match with him and Andrade. After that happened, here came Legado del Fantasma. And Escobar says he sees a pattern here with Andrade and Carmelo having a permanent spot in line for a title shot. But he says, when is he going to get a title shot? Just like the rest of Legado. When are they all going to get shots? And Nick Aldis says, Los Garza has a match now next week against a team he's hand-selected for them. And if they can get through them, then they'll be worthy of a title shot. And Escobar's like, thank you, you won't regret it. And Aldis goes, oh, you might. Because there was, of course, a tease for an vignette saying next week, which everybody's saying, I think it's obvious too, because there's been rumors ages, it's going to be the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin, and I think his name is, and Alex Shelley. I don't know Chris Sabin, or if that is his name. I'm probably mispronouncing it. I go get it mixed up with Kip Sabian. But again, Alex Shelley, I became a fan of his whenever him and Kushida was in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic as the Time Stoppers. I became a fan of Alex Shelley's there. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. So that's probably going to be the match next week with the debut of Motor City Machine Guns on SmackDown. Because apparently also, they were supposed to start in NXT. But after Tony Khan held the Lucha Bros hostage, but I think I saw today, one of them only has a month left on their contract. And the other one, I think it's Ray Phoenix, has like 9 or 10 months left on his contract. Because he added on injury time. Because Tony Khan found their SmackDown plans and said, screw that. So, yeah, that sucks. For sure. There'll be a video talking about that sometime this week. About how Tony Khan is essentially, although I would say he's completely on track to be Vince McMahon, he's starting to become Vince McMahon in his own ways. We'll talk about that, of course, sometime this week, though, as well. But yeah, Motor City Machine Guns are coming to SmackDown, as it looks like, next Friday. And they're probably going to take it on Los Garza's, or whatever they want to call them, Los Garcias. I don't know what the heck you call Los Lotharios. Whatever Berto and Angel are called now with Legado. Who knows? We also have a backstage with the Street Profits and DIY bickering. And Aldis is trying to break them off until we see he runs out to save Randy Orton, who's being attacked by Kevin Owens. And they get separated. It looks like Randy Orton gets hurt. I don't know if that'll lead to a match with them at Crown Jewel. We'll have to wait and see. So, Kevin Owens then beats down Randy viciously. And then the main event, we got Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa. Not too bad of a match. Solo does win with a Samoan spike thanks to some distractions. Afterwards, basically it's a 4-on-1 beatdown. Roman Reigns came out trying to help out, but of course it was no use. It was a 4-on-2 beatdown. Even though, like I said again, they lose their matches, but they stay on top in beatdowns. And basically, afterwards, though, as the Bloodline's exiting, Roman and Jimmy are laying in the ring, and Jimmy's looking over at Roman going, "We need him. We need him." As the Bloodlines put the ones up. And that's SmackDown. Like I said, I thought the stuff they did was good on the show. Especially, again, the stuff with the Bloodline and the stuff with Kevin Owens. Like I said, though, the payoff, the follow-up, you're going to have to, in order for me to really, really believe this, you're going to have a good payoff on this. So we'll see what happens. I guess because, I would be calling this a great to awesome show. But because I'm still skeptical and it was still good, I'll give this show a B. I'll give SmackDown a B this week, like I said. If I had a little more faith, it would have gotten a higher grade than that. But for now, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B, and we'll just move on from there. So, SmackDown gets a B this week. What are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown? What are your guys' thoughts, of course, as well on the upcoming debut of the Motor City Machine Guns? What are also your thoughts on the stuff with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline? Well, of course, and Jimmy Uso as well. And, of course, on Kevin Owens' new justified heel character. Do you believe they can follow through with this and do the right business with this? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You can also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!